Hey guys, it's John here from jondjones.com. In today's episode I'm going to compare WordPress and Umbraco CMS and hopefully give you some food for thought as to why you might want to use Umbraco to power your website. Now I'm assuming everyone watching this has seen or heard about WordPress. From the stats I've read, I think it's something like 70% of the world's websites are powered by WordPress. So I guess the main question really is, why wouldn't you use WordPress to power your website? So WordPress was built as a blogging platform. Now call me Mystic Meg, but as you're watching this, I'm assuming you're not an idiot and you know how to use the internet. Now when you come across a blog, we've all recognised them. A blog generally has a homepage. On this homepage you have a big listing of all the blogs on that website. When you click on one of the links, you then go to the blog and you can read that article. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. That's why it's great. I mean, one of the benefits of WordPress is that you can install WordPress within about 5-10 minutes. With WordPress you have a load of themes and you also have a number of packages, so you can build a WordPress website without that much technical knowledge or without really needing a programmer. Now, because WordPress is a blogging website, it can be quite limiting if you actually need to build an actual content website. Now what I mean by that is, in a lot of websites you'll have a hierarchical structure. So you'll have the home page at the top of your hierarchy, and then underneath that you'll have a number of pages. So let's say we wanted to build a website for a newspaper. In our newspaper we might have a number of different subsections. So we might have a politics section, we might have a page 3 section. I mean, where have those gone, right? Or we might have a sports section. If we click on the sports link, we might have a number of other subsections. So we might have a UFC section where we have an article with Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. We might have a wrestling section, or we might have a football section. If we click on the football section, we might have a English football section, a Scottish football section, or a Spanish football section. Now, if you've got a website or an idea for a website where you need this sort of hierarchy and this sort of structure, WordPress isn't probably your best bet. As I said, WordPress is a blogging platform. Now if you log into WordPress and you go to the posts sort of section, you basically can create a very flat sort of structure of blog posts which then get displayed. Now in your WordPress sort of website you can create tags and categories, and when you're on a blog you can click on those tags and categories, and that's generally how you jump around from different sort of pages. You also have your sidebar, and on your sidebar then you can have links to different sort of areas. Now again, it's the same sort of thing. If you go to the pages section in WordPress, it's a bit clunky and it's basically a very sort of flat hierarchical structure. Now if you have a number of content themes and you want to create this newspaper-like sort of website where you have loads of different contents, you'll get really frustrated really quickly with WordPress because you can't generally move things around, you can't visualize your content, you can't jump in and jump out of things really easily. So that's sort of point number one. Point number two is WordPress, because it's so popular, is also pretty unsecure. Now WordPress I think do sort of updates every couple of weeks. They're bang on sort of making sure that their platform's secure. The problem with WordPress is that as a hobbyist you're very likely going to start using some themes that you've downloaded from the internet. You're very likely to use some of the free packages available because that's one of its main benefits. Now the problem is these sort of themes and these packages, they're not as secure as the main WordPress website, and it's very easy for people to exploit and get into your WordPress website via these third-party packages. I've had several WordPress websites throughout my career. I've built sort of WordPress platforms for clients that I've had, and if you actually have a look at the number of people who try and break into your WordPress sort of login page, it's quite insane. I think at one stage I was having sort of 400, 500 sort of people just constantly trying to attack and break into my website. So that's sort of like another reason why you may not consider using WordPress. And another consideration is WordPress is built on PHP. Now I started development say 12 years ago. I went to university and I learned PHP when I was at university. PHP is a great sort of introductory language to help you learn how to program, but on the same time it is a very basic language. Now there's probably some people who might watch this and be like, oh, I'm going to hunt you down and kill you because we love PHP. But if you sort of take a step back and look at it as a business perspective, if you start looking at, you know, a bank, for example, a bank's not going to be writing its sort of trading platform based on PHP. A bank's going to be using something like Microsoft technology, or, you know, a different sort of language which provides much more security and safety. Okay, so we've discussed WordPress a little bit. Let's talk about Umbraco. Now, Umbraco, like WordPress, is free, it's open source, and it's generally pretty easy to use. Now, as I was sort of hinting at the WordPress sort of discussion, Umbraco is a content management system. So when you use Umbraco, the first thing you'll see when you log in is, you know, a homepage node. And if you log into an Umbraco, like an existing WordPress website, you'll see a big hierarchical sort of tree of all the content. This tree is really easy to manage, it's really easy to find things, and it's really easy to move pages around, sort things in different orders, and fundamentally, if you want to create a website, you want to pick something like an Umbraco. Now, Umbraco is also built using the Microsoft sort of programming language and the .NET, which is called the .NET stack. If you don't know anything about sort of technology, these are probably just jargon buzzwords which don't really mean a great deal for you. One of the things which might help you sort of appreciate why .NET is a good platform is that the biggest sort of forum or the biggest developer community on the internet is called Stack Overflow. Now, Stack Overflow have like an annual survey that they ask developers about, you know, what technologies they're using, what they like using, all that sort of good stuff that geeks like me like. Now, .NET will always come, well, I say always, .NET at the moment comes, you know, at the top of the list. It's either number 1 or number 2 from memory. PHP is way down at the bottom of the list. You know, as I was saying about banks, you know, .NET is a very secure, scalable platform. Microsoft provides sort of a hosting option called Azure. So if you can do, you know, some .NET development and you use Umbraco, it's really easy to put your website in the cloud and then have it scale really easily. Now, don't worry if a lot of this is too technical for you. Just basically think that the main takeaway will be .NET is a popular platform used by big enterprise level companies. So Umbraco itself, I guess one of the downsides is you probably will need someone technical to help you and hold your hand through it, whether that be a digital agency or you hire like a freelancer or a contractor, or hopefully you've got like an in-house resource. You will need to have a bit of knowledge about C#, you'll probably need a little bit of knowledge about HTML and CSS and all that good stuff. So I think one easy sort of comparison that I'd like to make is that if you had, you know, £1 million, would you choose to buy a Mini or would you choose to buy a Ferrari? Now, obviously it's a bit controversial, but for me, if you want to use and you pick an Umbraco, it's going to cost you a bit more money, but you're going to build something which is more custom, more tailored to what you want and more specific to what you want. Now, if you're building a website, WordPress isn't a great choice for you, and it's like picking a Mini. I'm not like an old Mini, not a new one, because the new ones are cool. So it really is a bit of unfair sort of like for like to say WordPress or Umbraco. If you just want to create a blog, then hands down WordPress is the winner every time. So if you're a hobbyist, you want to start like a little quick niche website, something like that, I'd say WordPress is the way to go. If you're a company, a small company, big company, and you want to create a website which is scalable, which is a lot more secure, then personally I'd go for WordPress like every day. Now, I know some people might say in these videos, use WordPress. Personally, I run my own website, jondjones.com, and that is powered by Umbraco, so I do put my money where my mouth is. So I'm hoping this has sort of given you a bit of food for thought as to potentially why you might want to use Umbraco over WordPress. Umbraco is probably the first or second most popular .NET sort of platform, CMS platform, so I would definitely advise you to give it a go. Now, if you're new to Umbraco and you don't know where to get started, my number one tip would be to go over to my website. There's 200 Umbraco tutorials which will help you do everything from install Umbraco, create some pages, get an overview of how it works. If you're sort of more of a marketing person and you just want to have a look at the Umbraco backend, again, there's a content editor's guide over there. Go over there and it will just sort of, there's a load of videos and screenshots about, you know, how you do basic tasks like adding content, moving content, all that cool stuff. So obviously, if you've got some questions or you don't agree with anything I'm saying, please sort of feel free to rant or praise me in the comments below. If you're interested about Umbraco sort of stuff, then obviously this is a YouTube channel. There's a subscribe button just here. Hit that bad boy right now so you can get a few more. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been a bit informative. Until next time, peace!